Hey everybody, it's me, Calvin Benson, and welcome back to my big ranking of every single movie I've seen that's released in the year 2024. This is one big video, and in order for it not to take too long to get it out there, I've split it into parts. This is part 8, and the first two parts are, if you want to watch them, in the description. So no more yapping. Here are the next tiers in the Ultimate 2024 movie ranking. Let's just start it. And moving right along into the top 20, in 19th place, I will have Juror number 2. A very important movie, as it is most likely the final film by Clint Eastwood, one of the most legendary dudes in Hollywood. Granted, he isn't in heaven yet, but he is over 90 years old, so I don't know if he can make another movie at that age. It's honestly amazing that he just made this movie at the age of 94. How the hell did he do that? And even more crazy, how is the movie this good? For context, I got to see this movie in theaters, but because Warner Bros. Are pieces of shit, the movie got a limited release of just 50 theaters in the entire country. But I just happened to live right next to one that was playing it. And it's a real shame it got said limited release, cause it's just a great film. This movie feels straight out of the 70s, and I mean that in the best way possible. It's not trying to be the next franchise, it doesn't have big, bombastic action scenes or crazy characters. It's just a self-contained court drama that challenges your moral compass and makes you think, with truly interesting characters. If you accidentally hit and kill someone, and someone else is being accused of being the real killer, and you're in the jury to convict him, do you be honest and say that you did it, saving an innocent man, but sending yourself to prison for an accident? Or you just bite your tongue and let him get sent to prison, so that you don't rot in jail for an unavoidable accident? On paper, the lead seems like he would be the most hateable character, for just sitting idly by and letting an innocent man be imprisoned when he has big information. And other jurors would seem like pieces of shit for wanting to sentence an innocent man. But this film so expertly shows the complexity and humanity of every single character, to where, even if you disagree with one of them, you still completely understand why they're doing it. And outside of the leads, even the smallest of side characters are memorable. A line I think about a lot is with the guy living in an RV, who was one of the only witnesses at the supposed murder site, and when being interviewed, he just mentions that it feels good for him to matter again, and to be wanted. It's those kinds of little moments that make this film so good. But the film is just as much of a character study as it is a courtroom drama, which they also nail. They pose some great questions, like, can people truly change? When is it okay to not come forward? Or is it okay to sentence without a guarantee? It's the kind of film where it makes you wonder what you would do if you were put in that sort of situation, and really immerses you in this scenario, which is what movies are for. I love these kinds of movies, and this is the best movie that it possibly could be. But how the hell did Clint Eastwood make this at 94? Like, by the time he'll be dead in the ground, he'll still be putting out masterpieces. And next up, moving to 18th place, I have Late Night with the Devil, a new found-footage exorcism horror movie combining the genres. And for me, those are my favorite horror subgenres. So this film was right up my alley. And yeah, the movie's great. The plot is that in the 70s, there's a late-night talk show starring a man named Jack Delroy, and in a bid to try to save the show and get ratings up, makes a Halloween episode with him interviewing a girl possessed by the devil, and, no pun intended, all hell breaks loose. Somehow, this movie lived up to the amazing plot of The Exorcist on a talk show. It legit might be the best exorcism movie since The Exorcist 3. It combines elements from The Blair Witch, The Exorcist, and more, to create a new style. It has such a unique found footage angle. Instead of being lost footage from a camcorder, it's just footage of the talk show episode, with other scenes not in the episode being shown in these black and white behind the scenes recordings. That's such a creative way to do found footage in the modern day. And the talk show angle, it's such a pitch-perfect portrayal of late-night talk shows of the 70s. The style, the attitude, the editing, all feel so true to the shows the film is echoing. David Dastmalchian as Jack Delroy is such a perfect 70s late-night talk show host. He's great at all the little mannerisms. But the real substance of the film is in the main character, Jack Delroy. Jack Delroy's backstory, losing his wife and being a sympathetic character, but learning more and more about his more dark past, things he's done that relate to the demon in the girl, which shines light as to his true character. And the movie just poses the simple question, how far would you go for fame? Would you abandon your moral compass, use others who are vulnerable as tools for viewership, make a deal with the devil to keep the show going? Because this girl, possessed by the devil, is so vulnerable, someone cursed with a great evil, and she's made to be a talk show spectacle. For the most part, the possessed girl is your typical fare, but near the end is when she becomes actually scary. I won't spoil it, but when that demon comes out, it's some unsettling stuff. And when you see the situation just devolve, everything starts going to shit, the horrific and evil things that have been happening all movie go into full force, all building up to a scene at the end, where true evil is unleashed. In some horrific imagery, the scariness of the whole movie comes back. Nearly everyone is dead, and Jack Delroy is in this weird, hell-like purgatory. It's just really creepy. The 70s style, the found footage angle, the slow burn building to the horrific end, are all part of why this film is so scary, what makes it so unnerving. Judging just off of the scariness of the film, it's fantastic. But the other plot elements, this whole style, the greater meaning, the true story, are what elevate this film to being the 18th best film of the year. And next up, moving to 17th place, I have Conclave. I really did not think I would like this film this much. Being a movie about the changing of popes after one dies in a political thriller. I'm sort of religious adjacent, but I'm not actually a part of any religion, so I didn't think that this film would appeal to me at all. But the good reviews had me watch it, and holy shit, this is great. This film is made to show the humanity of the church, and all who are in it. When you take away the temples, the leaders, the real truth of the religion shows itself. Just an earnest, real story of what the church looks like when a pope dies. It's a mess. It's a war. It's not easy. And where the pope that the church and everyone on earth has known for so long dies, in the period between the changing of the guards, is when the true power of religion comes out. Religion is for aiding you through life, through grief, through suffering, through the unknown, which everyone in the church, no matter their status, needs dearly in this moment. They really emphasize the humanity of every character. Beyond a political thriller, it's a character study. They humanize these people, like in the sprinkles of humor, in the dry wit and little funny remarks made, relieving the seriousness, and putting right on display how they aren't humorless robots. They're in such powerful positions that they are dehumanized in the eyes of the public, and some fairly so. But this movie just shows that at their core, they're just human. And the actors play them with such reverence that it bridges the gap between those who have been a part of religion their entire lives and those who have never stepped foot in a church. This film is universal. Funny enough, the best part of the film, for me, and the perfect example of why this film is so good, was the Pope's pet turtles. They say how the Pope was a fan of turtles and kept a number of them as pets at the church. Outside of his godlike persona, he's a man with personality and interests, and maybe those interests happen to be turtles. It's a unique way of humanizing the Pope, without us even seeing him alive in the entire movie. There's a prominent theme of searching for perfection as a person, and that nobody, not the cardinals or even the Pope, are perfect, that they're flawed. They all have black marks in their history, and things from their past they would rather be kept a secret. But that doesn't mean they can't strive for being better. and being a beacon of strength in the Vatican. And that's what religion is for. To be better. To face your past and make your future. This movie is way more than a political thriller. It's a movie that looks and examines the personalities and humanity of those in the Vatican. Now, moving right along. Coming up next, in 16th place, I have none other than The Substance. This is one of the most critically acclaimed movies of the year, and yeah, everything that's said about the movie is true. There is not much that I can say that hasn't already been said, and that won't just feel like I'm repeating the same thing. Yes, it's a cautionary tale on corrupting yourself in search of your own perfection. Yes, it's a reflection of horribly high beauty standards for women throughout the world, but especially America. Yes, it shows in an earnest and blunt way the horrors of Hollywood. But the thing is, all that is true. It is a dark reflection of one's desperation for others' approval. It is a call-out of the beauty norms that have been a part of Hollywood for so long. And it is a visually disgusting and beautiful film. The message is so powerful. Trying to be a different version of yourself is just being the worst version of yourself. Being yourself is being the best version of yourself. I even think that there's some great parallels with getting plastic surgery. Just changing your body again and again, all in search of looking perfect, but eventually you look worse than you did at the start. I thought it was so genius to have both halves, Elizabeth and Sue, be at odds with each other, and just despising each other, even though they're the same person. Elizabeth hating Sue for being the better version of herself, jealous knowing you're the worst version of you, and Sue hating Elizabeth, being embarrassed by this older you. It just perfectly reflects real self-loathing, hating yourself. And this is what leads to Sue not wanting to switch back, not wanting to go back to being who she sees as her worst self. And that backfires hard, and just shows how you can be your worst enemy. But moving on, if I had any criticisms with the movie, it's that it could have been tighter. The first chunk of the movie is fast and tight, not spending too much time on any one thing, just very concise. But in the later half, every scene can feel a bit drawn out. Like it could have been done in half the time. Like the final scene. There really didn't need to be this drawn out scene where Demi Moore's goop body makes its way onto the Walk of Fame star. It could have ended at the stage. But I actually do really like how this movie goes over the top in many places. Like the ending where the Alyssa monster goes on stage and spews blood everywhere. It was drawn out, but I thought it was good. It could have ended with cutting to black, but they instead go all out on the gross, bloody monster stuff, and that just shows that this isn't a completely serious movie, and it pushes it from a thriller to a horror movie. And branching off that, the body horror aspect is really, really good. There's so many different things that happen to the bodies that are just gross and horrific, but in a good way. Like, holy fucking shit, this movie is gross and violent-inducing, but somehow, I liked that. The body horror, just seeing someone's back open up, and another full person coming out. The splitting of all the body parts, the slow decay of Elizabeth's older body. It's so horrific and so well made. Like, the practical effects work with the CGI seamlessly. It all looks real. But Dennis Quaid eating shrimp was still the grossest part of the movie. I mean, what more to say? The Substance is one of the best horror movies of the decade so far. A simple masterclass in horror, deserves all the praise, and is simply a great movie. And next up, in 15th place, I have another horror movie, Longlegs. This horror movie may not be the best of the year, but it is sure one of the most stylized, passionate, and well-made horror movies. This is art. Filmmaking and story-wise, it's just crafted so perfectly. Speaking of the story, on the surface, this seems like a regular cops versus serial killer horror movie. Just a newbie cop working to solve the mystery and capture a serial killer known as Longlegs. But it ain't that simple. The story goes so much deeper, and kinda switches genres. The supernatural side of the movie is the most interesting, in a twist I did not see coming. There's elements of ghosts and spirits in the plot. Micah Monroe's character is psychic, and there's even some religious horror. What begins as a traditional, grounded cop versus killer plot slowly reveals itself to be a much larger and much scarier tale. And just like the plot, the movie itself is anything but traditional. In the filmmaking, visuals, audio, pacing, and even the lines, every line is one that gives a few seconds to sink in. They do away with all the classic horror tropes, like the big suspense music whenever something scary happens. Instead, it's just dead quiet, which is much scarier. In all the quiet scenes, you could hear a pin drop. Every little sound effect, every little footstep, or a curtain being pulled, was scary because of the perfect sound design. The overall film has such a tense and atmospheric vibe to it, almost like you aren't supposed to be there. You shouldn't be watching this, and that just adds to the horror. The movie isn't content to just scare you, it's going to unsettle you. But best of all, the cinematography. It is impeccable. The best way I can put it is the best shot in any other horror movie is every shot in Longlegs. Every single frame is a painting. Each shot is meticulously chosen to be beautiful and perfect and having a story on their own. With this zoomed out, wide-angle lens and an aspect ratio that just feels cramped in a good way, the film really has its own look to it that's just so well done. It doesn't feel like a regular horror movie, it feels like an experience. And oh my god, I almost forgot, the cast is so good. Micah Monroe is really great as this newbie detective. She just has a look that fits a character who's a bit of an introvert and has inner struggles and trauma. And the way she acts comes full circle at the end. And Nicolas Cage, he is completely unrecognizable as Longlegs. He plays a truly horrifying person. Every scene he has is just horror. This is just a movie where every little part was done so creatively that this is just really something special. Horror movies are so back, y'all. And with that, that's gonna be the end of this section of the ranking. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I also hope you'll stick around for the next parts. And trust me, it's gonna get a lot more interesting as to what films show up how high on the list. So hopefully I'll see you later, but at least for this video, I'm Calvin Minson, and thank you for watching.